afternoon, my dear colleagues. Today again, we are just discussing the feature movies in ELT. And you join us today.
Yes, this is
And
my
Dr.
first time.
Chimanova, right, and Professor Carlson and me, Hidayat Tunjai. We are going to discuss the previous movies and the use of the featured movies in ELT, in language teaching, in general, and not specifically into English, right?
Right.
And so far we have shown 5 movies, right?
Movies.
And-
5 movies.
And you've been a couple of times,
Yes, couple of
you know, in the movies, right? And we know how many. I mean, we don't know exactly right now how many movies we're going to show them, but at least 10 till the end of semester, right?
Yes.
The second semester. We are going to be together with the students in the auditorium, which means movie theater, and the number of students increasing day by day.
Yeah.
It's promising.
Yes. Yes.
And by the way, you've been there with us last week, right?
Yeah.
And could you tell us your first impression about with the students as part of curricular activity, watching the movie and just showing them the movie and discussing the activities at the end of the movie?
Okay. So I came to a movie last week when we had movie 51st dates, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And I was really interested by myself, and that's why I decided to go, because of course every teacher has so many things to do, but at least, I came because it was interesting for me. As I said to you before, unfortunately, we do not have many opportunities to show movies during our lesson, and that's why I came with my own interest, first of all, as a teacher, and of course I invited my students, and also I had to change our timetable because exactly at that time we had another lesson. And what I noticed that, for example, my students, my group, yes, because next day we a bit discussed about this, about their impressions after this film, and they said, you know, Julduz Ece, yes, we talk, we develop our English during the classroom, but when we watch movie, this is more authentic. And we can know some maybe additional words, additional information. And one more thing that one of my students, she is very hardworking, promising student, and she was sitting next to you, Mr. Carlson. Yes, and she just noticed that you were laughing often in some moments,
Yes.
but she said that, you know, unfortunately, I couldn't do the same because I didn't understand some of them.
The gist of meaning, right?
Yes.
The context.
Yes,
of the
context. Yes,
expressions.
yes. And she said, you know, of course, we should do a lot. We should work hard in order to understand. But it was really impressive, they said to me.
As a matter of fact, before showing the movie, I mean, it is not very easy to catch the idiomatic expressions,
Yes.
even though you don't watch movie quite often. Thank you very much, and we're gonna just come back again
Okay.
to you. And Professor Carlson, what is your first impression so far about using the movies in such a case? I mean, with the students who are very eager to learn English and practice English.
Yes. 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 I think it's a very useful tool in in studying English from films. Students are able to compare these films. The films we showed have undertitles, and they were able to compare the speech with the undertitle, the written words. Particularly important are the idioms, new vocabulary they may learn from the films. We tried to make a list of new words, new vocabulary, and hand this out before each film, together with exercises, both during the film and after the film. And they are able to study these exercises before coming to the film, look at the idioms, look at the new vocabulary beforehand, and try to adapt these to the actual film session. For example, yesterday we had the King's Speech. They were able to compare American English with British English dialect.
That's right.
Regal English, the way the king spoke, the expressions used when you address a king, and students were able to to see how this is done in real life. In real life,
Is there an idiom in English, King's English?
we say Oxford English. Oxford English.
No idiom with, I mean,
Yes.
it's called King's English.
The King's English. Yes, we can say this.
Right. So
Yes.
it's very easy. I mean, it's very useful for them, I believe, to show them both dialects, British
Yes.
and American, right?
Yes.
And what do you think about the subtitle? After a certain time, maybe after a couple of movies
Yes.
shown,
I have some
we should
films
not-
without subtitles. Maybe the next film we may show without a subtitle, like
Yes.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. It doesn't include subtitles, to see how they do.
Yes,
To see how they do.
I
Yeah.
agree with this.
So this might be useful too.
So how we can just bring that experience into the classroom with the students. So the teachers and I mean the lecturers, our colleagues should help in the classroom with the students the use of the feature movies in ELT, as well as the discussion and all the features of the movies. I mean, plot, summary, characters, and the exercises, and also the activities to be done at the end of the movie. Our colleagues should help us at least. What do you
Yes.
think about this?
Well, of course, I support this idea. And you know, maybe you do not remember that, but in past we had one class, cinema literature. Do you remember, Mr. Carlson?
I
It was
remember
it was
this,
a
but no.
elective course in our department.
You mean cinema literature, right?
Yes,
Is it
cinema
taught in-
edebiyatı.
It stopped. They stopped
But
this
it
course.
stopped, yes. After that, I think it was changed. And maybe you want to say that we should have a separate class to discuss, or it should be included maybe into the methodology of teaching English.
We'd have to institutionalize a course, but this might be difficult.
It will be
No,
difficult.
this is
takes,
considered-
it takes a long time.
long time.
I mean, my personal opinion is it should be extracurricular activity.
Okay.
We cannot insert, I mean, we cannot include in the overall syllabus maybe, but extracurricular activity, if they are volunteered to do so, to come to the movie theater and watch the movie with us, do the exercise beforehand, and then discuss some of the questions, comprehension questions, at the end of the movie, just before the other movie starts.
Yes.
So, and
And to motivate them, they will get a certificate
Yes, yes,
at
yes.
the end of
Motivation.
10 movies. They have to attend 10 movies, at least 10 movies. They'll be awarded a certificate at the end. This provides motivation,
Yes.
some motivation for.
Mr. Carlson, what do you think about that their English is going to be improving, maybe right after a couple of movies they watched?
I think the association that they will have, the fact that they're in a live situation, more or less, they're speaking with native speakers there. This is important, that they're able to assimilate into the actual situation of the movie. Like yesterday, to watch the king actually speak. And this is almost live. I don't think it's a real situation in which, so we could call it situational English. Situational English, where they're actually immersed in the situation of the movie, in the plot. They converse, they interact with the actors, with the performance in the film.
Dr. Chimanova, I would like to ask you about our activities at the end of the movie. We divide it into 3 categories, I mean 3 parts. See before watching movie and while watching and after watching movie. About after watching activities, I mean. Would you add something to that, or did you have time to take a look at this, or you might add some, if you like to, you might add some more activities. Or you might suggest us, right? Some more activities, so we can just add that to give the students as a handout.
Okay. I looked through those activities and I paid attention to the questions which are given before watching, yes. It is some kind of brainstorming while watching, and as far as I remember there were some quotes taken from movie, yes, they should discuss, and maybe, for example, based on that film which I saw last week, I would add maybe activities connected with exact those words which were problematic for them. Maybe some idiomatic expressions, as you said. Maybe just I would focus on them. And also maybe some creative exercise, like, for example, if you were the producer, how would you end? Or maybe you didn't like something, or vice versa, maybe you would like to add such kind of activities.
Yeah, I
Do you
think
think the word should be explained to them in the course of the movie?
Maybe not
Or,
explained, but
after or before?
after, yes, but they should concentrate on this too.
Because when they hear this
Yes.
idiom or word, they're not going to understand it. If someone doesn't explain the context,
Yeah.
the actual context of the, so there's going to have to be some explanation.
Frankly
of these
speaking,
terms.
yes, you know, I also had some problems sometimes when I was watching movie.
it's authentic. Yeah.
Yes, it is
you never
authentic.
know what happens
Yeah.
in the movie
Right,
because
right.
you didn't write the scenario.
Yeah.
And if you don't grow up in this
Yeah.
context,
This is the yes.
And
this
all
is
the
Cultural
idioms and
context.
idiomatic
Yeah.
expressions are culture related, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they are going to be familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, as much as they watch that, the movies. I mean, we might think that to exclude the subtitles maybe after a
Yes,
couple of
after a
times,
few
right?
times.
I think this is a good
Um,
idea.
But Mr. Carlson, I believe he prepared some of the words and vocabularies beforehand
earlier
And
movies,
we
as
just-
far as comes
just gave
for
as a
Casablanca.
as a handout, and they studied that. But the problem here, I believe, they are not going to save time, or they don't save time for those handouts
Right.
before coming to the movies. And the idea that I would like to emphasize here, we have to motivate them. This is not just a movie watching session.
Okay.
We have to tell them insistently, this, of course, this is a movie watching. We have to watch the movie.
Yes.
No way out. But we are going to tell them how can we can use that kind of, or these movies as part of instructional curriculum. So we can tell them, and maybe we can do that by way of giving them more and more exercises, more and more practical issues, or more and more handouts, and just before the movie or after the movie.
Okay.
And next week, as far as I know, we are going to discuss and we are going to go through the activities of this week's movie, which is King's Speech, right?
So every week,
And
the
then every
previous
week,
movie.
and the last movie will be discussed for 15 minutes at least. And then a new movie will be shown. And the new handout will be given, right?
Maybe we could ask them how they would use these words in new sentences. To actually use the words, use the expressions. Have them make up sentences where they use
Situations.
these situations.
And another idea I would like to share with you, I don't know exactly. Do we have to prepare a questionnaire for them at the end of this movie watching session, towards the end of the next semester?
Before.
To have a very,
As to-
very, realistic feedback.
As to the usefulness, how they,
Usefulness, advantages, whatever, and we might prepare together and just ask their opinion, the students' opinion.
okay. We could do this in the form of another television show
Sure.
where
Yeah.
Yeah.
the students are here with us, asking their opinion live.
Sure.
And then have
So we have to prepare questions in advance so we can just ask them.
Of
But
course.
sometimes they
Yes.
won't just reveal their ideas very frankly.
they're reticent, yes.
And
Uh-huh.
some readers, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
And they might keep those ideas with themselves.
True.
Yeah.
And written form is more reliable, I believe.
More free.
But we can,
Okay,
I mean,
okay, yes.
most probably we can discuss. I don't know. Your opinion is very valuable for me as well. And we might discuss is a television show, I mean here, the results of the questionnaire. So it's gonna be better, I believe. We can invite them, right?
Have they
And it
written-
might be the last TV recording in this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this academic year, I believe.
Yes. So we'd have the results of the questionnaire and discuss these results with the students.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
But first
Okay,
of all, we have to
okay.
just evaluate them.
Okay, okay.
Questionnaire based on those 5 films, yeah?
Not 5 films.
Not 5.
All of them,
All of them.
because we are going to ask
10
general
films.
questions, the use of the movies, feature movies, in terms of teaching English as a foreign language or teaching languages, and authenticity and reliability, movie choosing. I mean, choosing the movies is very important because you cannot choose the most of the movies as part of the curricular activity. I mean, extracurricular activity as part of the curriculum. So we should be very careful about not the title, of course, the content of the movie.
Of course.
And you might want to suggest some movies. Some of those I brought to
Okay.
Chauvinity.
Yes, I have some films.
Okay.
Great films.
Oliver Swift.
And as you know, we have
Okay.
technically we have a lot of opportunities at this university.
Yeah,
And
thanks God.
thanks to university, and we can do many and many things. And not only movie watching session, not only discussion, we might have a lot of programs here and discuss everything in terms of language teaching. And also we might discuss using the feature movies because some of the feature movies are based on literature masterpieces.
Yes.
For example, you told me Oliver Twist, right?
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist is a very
You
famous
have
novel
this film.
Yeah.
in British
Yeah,
literature,
Charles Dickens.
and other movies,
Great
and some other
Gatsby,
movies.
yeah.
The Great Gatsby.
And
Yeah.
this might also be discussed after watching the movie, the use of movie version of the literature
Yeah.
in regard to how it's going to be useful for the English language and literature department students.
Yes.
And we might also have some other movies, or just
Yeah.
on the spur of the moment, just comes
Right,
up to my mind. With the translation department students, we might work lively with the recording of the TV cameras and how they can just translate, I mean, subtitle translation, or how they can do the simultaneous translation
Should be
and lively.
for
We
the
can do that
translation
activity as well.
department. Translation department.
Because in my career, I have given the translation classes for many years, and it's going to be very helpful for them because it's lively over there, and you watch them, and movie just going on, and they translate it into the language they are asked to the audience,
Yes, yes,
and we can do that, right?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we are about running out of time. And what do you think? Or what are your
There's
last
also
remarks? And
the historical aspect. I mean, some of these films are based on actual historical events, like the Titanic.
Yeah.
So the students may gain some historical insights into some events that happened. And
And
it'll
one
be
more.
valuable for history students, for students from other departments. So the intention was that it would not be designed for a specific department, but would be open to all students at Monash University. That was my intention. And this-
we can discuss on that. Yeah,
and
you're
the-
right.
Each department then would have its own interest
Yeah.
in seeing these films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems to me.
this is not the false start. This is a very good start. So we can just
Yeah.
improve on that, right?
Yes, yes.
What is your last remark? What do you say?
So just I want to let's say wish success and luck, because
Good.
really it is a good project. And just one thing that I knew about it a bit late, just 1 week ago. But anyway, it
So
is
you know from now on.
yes, it is better late than never. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than never did, right?
Okay.
Thank you very much. This is very nice conversation. It was a very nice talk. And next week and the following weeks, we're going to discuss some other activities or some other things in the studio, and hope to see you again.
Okay.
See you till then. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.